Yeah. Hi. Hello. Thank you. I appreciate you. Hey, what's going on? So, I don't do these very often, and when I say not very often, I think never. But I wanted to do something a little bit differently, and so I think I want to upload some sort of like mini vlog type videos to the second channel every now and again when I have something a little bit more that I wanted to talk about, and I feel like you guys may enjoy it. And it seems like Boo wants to sit in with this one. I'm out. I'm just outside at the moment. It's nighttime. I woke up late. I took a nap. Woke up late, and so this is where I am now. So, but yeah. What I wanted to talk about though was kind of like it's a topic that we talk about a decent amount on the main. Thank you, Boo. It's a topic we talk about a little bit on the main channel, and that being men, right? The ah, ah, the ones. Thank you, Boo. The ones who you are men as well, Boo. You are men as well. Thank you. Uh, like the people who throughout history have spent most of their time oppressing and marginalizing people now are strangely a massive topic of discussion of possibly being oppressed as well, right? And it's something that we talk about. I think just like simply through your idea of simply through if you have a concrete idea of genuine intersectionalism, that it shouldn't be a massive surprise to you that men are indeed oppressed in some ways as well through even the patriarchy that exists. That is 100% true. We know this when it comes to like pushing down your emotions and small fragile boxes that we put ourselves in when it comes to masculinity. I mean, like I have my nails painted at the moment, and honestly, I think about it almost every single time that I go out. When I like take my hands out of my pocket and I have to hand them, I have to hand something to somebody, either be like a card or to pick up like the thing that I just bought, or if I'm like at the cash register, obviously something like that. I think about it, right? And think about like what they even like think about me, because I personally love the idea of being a guy, being masculine. I talk about it every now and again, um, and that's not something that I want to lose, and that's how I like to be perceived as well. But I'm getting off. I'm getting off track. These videos are going to be a little bit like everywhere, but I think that's just like the nature of how it is. I'm putting him in a chokehold. Hey, buddy. Hi. Why are you all over me today? We spent a decent amount of time together. He just won't leave. What the heck? What was that? He's so excited. He's so excited right now. You get out of here. Stop it. Go like I don't know, go play in the dirt or something. He's sneezing. Um Something that we're gonna be talking about on stream soon is oh, look at the moon. Look at the It's so nice. It's so nice to have a moon. Um I love her. Something that we're going to be talking on stream soon about is something that's just so wildly absurd. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it. If you think about it, and like everybody, I don't know, it just comes off as so normal. To me, it's just I am surprised how normal I feel it is, but how absolutely abnormal it really is. Which is XQC debating Andrew Tate. Which, if you like go down to well, like if that everybody was just like whatever, I mean, that's wild that they're talking because they're two incredibly different people, from two incredibly different like walks of life and everything, both on, if I remember correctly, YouTube. Because and Aiden Ross was there. If you don't know Aiden Ross, he was like one of the biggest streamers on Twitch. He was banned, and so now he's not able to stream or like uh show his face on Twitch anymore. But so Andrew Tate, which is a human trafficker, mind you, and I guess we'll talk about that more on stream. Um, was debating a video game streamer about why treating women with more respect is good. It's just that's an insane thing to think about, right? That's an insane topic. Um, like offhand, right? The utter absurdity of video game streamer debates, kickboxing, mixed martial artist, human trafficker about why treating women well is important. It's truly an insane thing. Um, but it's so normal now, and I haven't spent so much time with Andrew Tate specifically, so I don't know too much about him. I know he gets clowned on every now and again for like how like out there and crazy a lot of his takes are. He kind of reminds me of a little bit more insane Fresh and Fit. And I know some of you people are going to be like, what in the world? What do you mean? How do you even get more insane than Fresh and Fit? Well, I mean, Fresh and Fit, they're like bad guys, but like Andrew Tate literally moved to a small country in Europe. So because they have lax rape and um, human trafficking laws, that was his literal stated reason. Because like the West and like a lot of places like America, Canada, the UK, stuff like that. They were just too lax when it. They were too strict when it came to like rape laws. So he needed something to live the way that he wanted to. He had to go to another country with his values. Which the fact that that doesn't like instantly turn everybody off should be like a massive wake up call because he's huge. He's huge. His videos get like hundreds of thousands of views. I think I saw a short the other day since I was looking up a couple of things about him. I had to um you know, I was looking it up with my main account, and so like the algorithm gave me some more of his videos as it does. You know, YouTube having a normal one promoting a human trafficker and his dating advice. Um, and it had like the short had like 400,000 views. It was wild, really. It was wild. Um, but the really like, but but the thing is that from what I've seen from him, he's not something too incredibly different than what we would expect already, right? Like his views are even a little bit more extreme than some other people that we look at. But honestly, it's not even that far removed from somebody like Dennis Prager, who wrote a entire two-part article about why like sexually assaulting your wife is actually a good thing. It's just like what's happening? These people are insane. Um, Hello, Shady. He's vibing. He's vibing. Ah! He ran into my leg. Um, but the type of people who watch a lot of this content obviously are men. That's the main demographic, and there's some women in there too. We can talk about that in like a moment. But men are really drawn into this type of content, and I guess I get it. I mean, like I've talked about it every now and again. Like I've been a guy to watch like men's content, and whether it be like fashion advice, dating advice, like whatever. I've been that person to do that. When I was like growing up, when I was trying to learn like who I wanted to be, like who I am. Those were really important things for me, and so I think I was watching like Alpha M, and I think I was watching the Wing Girls as well. I think I learned how to kiss from like the Wing Girls. That was pretty funny. But thankfully, I hadn't been sucked into any like really bad rabbit holes or anything. I mean, I did watch Bearing and even Sargon of Akkad back in the day with like the weirdo like feminist stuff. It never got into like hating women or anything. Throughout my entire like life, I've never uh gone from just like hate gone to just hating women or like thinking like really toxic things about women outside of like what I would guess like some things from like your average guy. I guess, but I have a lot of women in my household, and I have a lot of women in my family, so it's not like I had like a no shortage of experience around women and women like around me. And even when I worked like a normal job at like McDonald's, I I worked mostly with women, and most of my bosses were women, right? But a lot of people don't have stuff like that, and a lot of guys are like really lost, and I'm wondering, and I've been thinking for a little while, like what exactly do we do, right? Because combating this is way more difficult than I think a lot of people make it out to be, and like how a lot of people are like ready to take it. I don't think a lot of people are ready to take this on, because a lot of people are saying that we could be seeing a sort of some people have said like Gamergate 2.0. I think what's like more reasonable is a sort of like men's sigma male, alpha male, pickup artist bro like resurgence again. I know it's already here, but even like bigger than we knew. It is just like, because it's gone so far. I've just been seeing so many people, especially like women, being like, "Holy crap! I was on a date, and then he brought up like Jordan Peterson or Kevin Samuels, God rest his soul." Um, People like I haven't heard Andrew Tate yet, but I have heard Fresh and Fit, and that's like a really worrying sign, because they've reached um just like your average guy, right? Even though they're not like crazy crazy big channels, like hundreds of thousands of views, right? That if for like every single day like around the country, that's obviously going to like mean something. I think I've known somebody actually who's actually, like, one of my community members said that their sister's boyfriend, or like guy that they're talking to, is watched Kevin Samuels, right? And Kevin Samuel, he reached a lot of black people. Other people like Andrew Tate reach a lot of white men. Um, but no, no, Shady, don't crawl up here. Don't crawl up here. Thank you. But a lot of guys are like lost, right? I feel like we have, like, a lot of people try to like blame this all on like the left for them like leaving guys behind, and I don't. I'm I'm not gonna. I don't know like how true that is. I do think we dropped the ball on like filling a hole of where men like really fit in society and what that really means. I think we did a massive. We didn't do that too much, but these people are like Andrew Tate are selling a dream, right? They're selling a fantasy. Basically, they're selling the whole. It's the sort of like social version of temporarily embarrassed millionaire, and sometimes it is like literally temporarily embarrassed millionaire thing that they're doing, where he goes on and he is like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do this. You treat women like this is just human nature, right? They're selling a narrative and a story, and one of the hardest things to combat is when you like teach somebody something and you get them to be convinced by something that's a story, especially if it's relatable, right? And so for like a lot of guys, the relatable thing is you're somebody who's not like looked up to too much, and you're like put down by women or like society, and one of the worst type of people out there, just generally, who haven't like committed like a crime or something, or something that should be a crime, is like just a one of the people like the least just like blatant respect would be like a just a guy who doesn't own too much. He doesn't like make too much. He doesn't have too many friends. Uh, he doesn't have like a great job or anything. He doesn't have any like crazy hobbies, and he wasn't blessed with like like some physical acumen or like a business acumen, or he wasn't like grant like shepherd in through nepotism to like some business. He was just a guy like me, like maybe even you. Um, and so he doesn't like date too much, but it's the fault of like the left and like the gynocentric pussy whip society that has made women like act this way, and you need to reclaim your place as like a guy, and it's really appealing. It's really appealing, that type of stuff, basically, and that narrative there that everybody else is against you, and not only that, but everybody else who And not even everybody else who's against you doesn't know the truth. A lot of them know the truth, but they don't. They just don't agree with it. Sorry, they know the truth, but they don't want to say it because they're too scared, and or like their money or something, or their status rides on them, like buying into the big lie, which is hilarious because these people literally make their bread and butter creating another big lie for people to believe, and they become like financially um, dependent upon that. Like people like Tate. Hello, Ruby. Ruby has now jumped up. Hello. Um, no, no. But with that being said, um, what he's selling, like obviously he's a snake oil salesman, right? He's like incredibly, um, he's incredibly like charismatic. He's like reasonably funny. He does like he has all of like the classic sort of like rich serial killer vibes that you would like typically expect, right? He has like a bunch of money and a lot of people know him. And he can swing his dick around, and if his dick can't reach, his money will, right? Um, it's weird because he's selling this basically what like a 10-step plan to get where he is, where he can like say, oh yeah, when I have my girl, she can't go to the club, right? She can't go out. Like, why would she need to go out? Like, I'm her protector, right? And so why would I like allow her to go somewhere? Like, why would I put her somewhere where I can where I'm not, right? Or I can date around and she can't, because that's how like men can impregnate 1,000 women, but women cannot be impregnated. Like, a single woman can be impregnated like 1,000 times, right? She can only be pregnant like once at a time, stuff like that. So like women are just not built to be able to love multiple people, unlike men, right? And the thing is, for him, a lot of I think like the go-to argument would be that that type of stuff, and like him saying like a man's place is here and a woman's place is here, right? That plays on a lot of like the ideas that guys have about what they want for themselves, or what they think that they want for themselves. Because honestly, I don't think a lot of people would really enjoy being, even the people like following him would enjoy being like someone like Andrew Tate. I really don't believe so. But the wild thing is, it's not something that you can tell somebody, right? Like having a bunch of money and having a bunch of women and doing whatever you want, right? Sounds like something that you really want, but for a lot of people, when they get there, their lives are like pretty soulless. There's nothing really there, because a lot of the times we think as people like without money that money will fix all of our problems, because it seems like money is where all the issues come from. When you like finally have money, you realize there's a lot of issues that cannot be fixed by throwing cash at it. There's so many that can't, and that's why there's so many rich people who end up like getting into like crazy drugs, or even killing themselves. Money isn't everything, right? And we wonder like what happened to them, what could like be in your life to do that. And even if we like know that, for guys specifically, like money and women won't fix all of your problems, it's hard to believe that when we're so conditioned to believe that is what's going to fix our problem. That's exactly where our problems like come from, right? And the ultimate example of what like a man should be, there's like an old saying. It's a woman like a man proves his status by how many women he comes with him. Sorry, a man proves his status by how many women come with him. A woman proves her status by coming alone, right? And so uh, that's that's a big thing that a lot of like guys, and especially like straight guys, just believe, and it's something that almost nobody is going to ever attain, right? Like, not all of us can be. A lot of like some reports say that someone like Andrew Tate, who was had his house raided by the police because for like a sex trafficking investigation, and found like two women who were like fucking naked in his house, right? You guys can't get away with that. All right, you can't get away with it. I can't get away with it. I can't do that. If I was like kidnapping people and like forcing them to do like OnlyFans for me while I lie about why I'm rich, dude, I'd be in jail. He's not in jail. But the thing is, like, he's like, oh, if you just like do this or do that, you can get like me. It'll, you can have this, because like one of his actual like money making advice. Sorry, his money making advice is literally to like human sex traffic women, is to like convince them that you're like poor or something, and then get them emotionally dependent on you. Sorry, I'm fixing something really quick. And then tell them that they need to like help make money, so have them do OnlyFans and like scrape some off the top. Literally be an e pimp. Um, is his actual want for like a lot of men. And the thing is, like, that's illegal. And if he would be in America doing that, he would be in jail. But there's a couple of reasons. For one, he's in like some like I forget it, like it starts with an A. Albania. It's something along those lines. Azerbaijan. I don't know. It's one of those. It's one of those countries where obviously the rape laws and the human trafficking laws are way less strict than a place like America or Canada, right? Or even maybe even Mexico. Honestly. Hi, Ruby. Ruby is here. Um, but also he's rich. Like, you can get away with a lot of stuff when you're like, we all know this, right? We can all get away with a lot of stuff when we're rich, right? So like, obviously he can say, give me your phone, let me go through your phone, like, all the time. Like, obviously he can tell women to like do this and do that for him. Honestly, he could be like literally raping women like almost every single day, and he may not be getting like put in jail for it because he's rich. He has that power and that money to throw around and basically do a lot of what he wants. Now, obviously, for some people, it catches up with him, Weinstein, Cosby, stuff like that. But you think those are the only guys who've done something bad like that? Really? Really? If that's the case, I have a beach house I can sell you in Idaho. Um, but it's like a lot of guys who are taking this type of advice, who want this type of life and want to incorporate it into their like dating strategies. Like, obviously they're not, it's not going to work. Like, obviously you're not going to be somebody who works at you can't be like a cashier at Target and go home and text your girl like, hey, you need to like not go to the club because that's a hunting ground for men, and you've already been conquered. There's no need for you to be putting yourself out there like that. Also, you need to give me access to your phone and all of your social media. And also, you're not going to be going out of like the house without me. There's no reason for you to like be out there. Also, you need to stop talking to all of your like male friends and also female friends, really. At least the ones that I don't approve of, right? Like, he's not gonna, like, that girl's going to laugh, take a screenshot, post it on Twitter. It's going to get 347,000 likes. Everybody's going to cackle at you. She's going to break up with you, and somebody's probably going to find you and throw like their Sprite at you, right? And then you're going to get fired. That's what's going to happen to you. But to him, right? I mean, just look at the people who are on like Weinstein. Sorry, look at the people who are on Epstein's island. None of those people who are on those lists have been arrested or put in jail or even like charged with something. Absolutely not. So just like because you have money means you can get away with like abusing people. That's not something that is surprising, and it's not something that a lot of people can follow at all, right? And so the guys who are actually pushing this type of stuff, like Tate, like Fresh and Fit, they can get away with it. They have a lot of money, so obviously they can throw it around and do stuff like this. And they sell you a story like they were like you one day, like before. Like, more likely than not, they're not. It's a sort of like self-made millionaire. Like, I was just like you. And then I got a small loan of $30 million by my grandfather or something, and this is how I started my business. Shit like that. Like, come on. You're not getting there. You're not going to start off and be you're not going to start off and be like a world champion kickboxer and have like an purported wealth of like 30 to 100 million, and run around the world abusing women and like being able to do whatever you want. It's not going to happen. Sorry, partner. Like, nobody is going to. You're not getting to his status. But they're selling the status, and they're selling the idea, and they're selling something that a lot of guys want. And we need to be able to combat this. But I just don't think that a lot of people are really ready. And the saddest part is that what they're selling is so appealing that honestly sometimes facts don't even matter, right? Like you can come at somebody with like all the facts in the world about, this, that, or the third, about why women are this, or why like a relationship is typically better like that, or like this is actually not how people work. It doesn't really matter because their story and their narrative that they have is so incredibly airtight that basically everything fits into it already, and like the schemas that they have are so like impenetrable. It doesn't matter if you tell somebody something along the lines of, I don't know, like women can't, women actually are more likely, women are actually less likely to be in car crashes, and substantially less likely to be in fatal car crashes than men. And they're like, I don't really care. I remember I saw a woman drive into like a fucking barrier while texting on her Hello Kitty iPhone, and then she went oopsie whoops and then posted it on Instagram, because that's like how women work. You're really gonna get into a car and let a woman drive you? Are you insane? Like, it's hard to break through a lot of that stuff, especially since it gets more credence because a lot of what they're saying is already something that a lot of people have bought into. I'm not going to say like they 100% already believe it, but it's something with like the patriarchy and everything, it's something that they already are like a part of. And they've heard before. People in power, people above them, people below them. Everybody has heard somebody or knows somebody who believes something along these lines. And so it gets more credence of it being like something that's been around so long, so they can just like pull from something like that, on top of the fact that even though a lot of these people live like a crazy hedonistic fuck all the time, throw my dick wherever, never like have any like true intimacy or true loyalty to a partner, let me just like fuck around, and then they'll like try to bring a sort of like religious aspect to it. Like, look, even like these books say a lot of these things, even though like a lot of the books, if they actually read them, don't actually support a lot of the things that they would believe. Like, you can't just sleep around in Christianity. Hello, are you insane? Are you that's not how this works at all. But it doesn't matter to them because a lot of people have like perverted the text that way, that it's easy for them to like buy in. So they're already like half or even more than half of the way there already with this type of stuff. Um, and I want to touch on like almost like one last thing is that it's kind of hard to do this as guys who aren't normal. And I don't want to be like everybody, like I don't want to be like normal in not a bad way, normal in like a good way, too much of a good way. Is that you have like a lot of money or you get a lot of women, right? Like I taking advice from some, love Hassan, many hugs and kisses, taking like dating advice from Hassan. I've I've said that his dating advice is not bad, and it's not, but Hassan was born into money and everything. um and he, even though he didn't always look the way he does now, he had that money, he had that those connections to be able to help along with that journey and everything. I mean, like his uncle is Shank Uger, right? He's had a decent amount of money for a long time. um and so like, and the way that he looks is just, no guy is going to be like him. I'm never going to be like him, really. And a lot of people aren't either. Your average person isn't going to be like him. They don't have the resources as him. They don't look like him. All right, not all of us can be, perceived white, but actually a little ethnic, um, born into money, 6 foot two, jacked guy with like straight curly hair, right? And like and with like a ability to grow a beard. Like a lot of us, it's not going to happen. And be able to like keep that up into like our 30s and also be a screamer that makes some of the most amount of money in the entire platform. That's not going to happen. Okay, that's not going to happen. I don't think Hassan has to work that hard. The only thing Hassan has to do to work to get like a partner is to not come off as like super rapey. Which, I mean, I don't know. I saw that clip where he brought like women in to his room and he talked about incels. That may be like a struggle for him to like keep that down, but honestly, I think he can keep it down for long enough to actually get like a bunch of women, and he has like a bunch of women around. He just doesn't sleep around like that, as far as I know. It's from what I've heard of him. I I don't follow Hassan, and even someone like Ethan Klein, is he's made I mean, he has like a decent amount of money. I would love to see a lot of guys who are like more like me be able to talk about this type of stuff for guys from like a more left wing perspective, give like good advice for guys who are really out there, really struggling like I have. You know, I've been the I've been like the sad third wheel with a girl that I've liked, but she didn't like me back, but I wanted to be there for her, and you're like, nice for you. Sort of thing when she's like on a date with like the next guy that she's talking to, and he's like a piece of shit, and you're doing the whole like I like what's wrong with me? I'm way better than this guy, and she still doesn't want anything to do with me. Um, sort of like thing. I've been there before. I've been like taken advantage of because like I thought, if I just spend enough time and I like do enough things that she's going to like love me sometime. I've been the one to keep somebody around even though um it's the sort of like you don't want to lose them. They don't want to date you, but you don't want to lose them, so you just agree to being friends even though like you just want to be with them again. And you live in that like sort of like pain of not wanting to tell them and not wanting to move on. Um right? Uh I would love a lot of, and it's gonna have to be like a sort of grassroots movement, kind of like how politics is, with a lot of guys just kind of coming out and talking about this type of stuff from this way. And so I want to start to talk about this a little bit more because I still don't think of myself as like crazy attractive or anything. I don't think I'm like super attractive. I don't have like a crazy amount of money. I see myself as just like a pretty normal average guy. Um, or even like in some cases below average guy. So I think I fit that model a little bit more. That I'm closer to the ground than people like obviously Tate or people like House on Pecker or like even other much larger YouTubers who farm the alpha male content, right? Because the saddest thing is they tell like two truths in one lie, right? They'll tell you like two things that are true and then one lie, or like their prescription just isn't true based off that, right? So it's really difficult to break into that worldview. It's really difficult to break down those walls and that narrative that they build up in your head from things that they already believe. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'd love like a lot of like normal guys to talk about this type of stuff more. I think it would be really important. um, so in the future, I think I'm going to be bringing back Antidote. Like a lot of things have gotten into the way um, of actually getting out Antidote again. I want to bring back Antidote. It was incredibly rewarding. I just like this last thing with streamer debates human trafficker, and like a lot of guys just being like, two competing viewpoints. We need to break into there like as soon as possible. It's just too much. It's just too much. So I want to talk more about men's issues coming up in the future, and I'll be posting some of those here. So I guess thanks for watching. See you later. Goodbye.